I love One Piece! And I love ducks, so when Karoo first... Wait, didn't we do this one already? That's right, today I'm back because of the overwhelming response of my last video where I talked about why I thought Karoo had to be in One Piece live action season 2. And I didn't expect it, but it led to so many comments, and in these comments I fought back and I came up with more reasons, so I wanted to condense those reasons into this video. This time, we're talking budget, we're talking lore, and more, as well as some new pieces of evidence proving Karoo will be there. That's right, we got new evidence. None of us know the budget except the people working on the show. I had so many comments talking about the budget like they were official accountants for Netflix. Look, this is how budget works. Separate projects have separate budgets, meaning that if we were to hypothetically save budget by removing Karoo in season 2, this money wouldn't directly go to season 3. It would go back to Netflix, as season 3 would already have its own budget. Now let's talk about what we do know. Netflix gave the team sufficient enough budget to adapt most parts of the source material in like extremely faithful ways. With the amount of CGI animals and characters shown off in the trailers, wouldn't it make sense the team would have the budget to adapt just one more animal? Like the literal last one left to show off? If budget was truly the reason why we have to remove Karoo, then we would be looking at a very different trailer. And yes, season 1 did get rid of characters because of budget and time constraints, but you have to consider season 1 was just that, a first season, meaning of course it would have a lower budget. Plus it had to adapt nearly 100 chapters in 8-hour-long episodes. So of course big changes had to happen. In season 2, we only have 50 chapters that are being adapted in the same amount of time as season 1. Meaning that we will have more time to spend with our characters. This does bring up the question though, how much of the time would actually be spent with Karoo? Another big point people in the comment section made is that Karoo is generally unimportant, so adapting him would be a waste of budget. So, with that in mind, I reread the manga from Whiskey Peak all the way to Alabasta, and let's go over everything Karoo does. Spoilers for Season 2 and Season 3 of the live action. Starting in Whiskey Peak, Karoo first appears near the end of the arc for a quick fight scene against Zoro, and then he runs to the boat. In Little Garden, Vivi rides Karoo around when they're exploring the island. But then, he gets scared of an explosion, so he runs into the woods. Here, he gets captured by some Baroque works guys, and they use him as a bait to lure Vivi. After that, Karoo is crucial in the plan to free the crew from the big wax cake. And then, he takes Luffy to Mr. 3 for the final fight. On Drum Island, Karoo stays on the boat for the majority of the arc. Then, after the whole arc is resolved, they find him in a frozen river where Chopper both shows off his doctor skills and his ability to talk to animals. Upon arriving at Alabasta, Karoo delivers a letter from Vivi to the king detailing both that she's alive and Crocodile's true involvement in Alabastan affairs. Later, he shows up with a supersonic duck squadron to take the crew to Alaburna for the final confrontation. Then, he takes Vivi to the rebel army to try to stop them, but then, they don't listen, so then they get trampled, but Karoo's there to stop Vivi from getting trampled. After an attack from Mr. 2, he then tries to take Vivi to the castle, but then, he takes a bullet for Vivi and now he's out of commission. In between the arcs though, he's usually just on the boat, sitting around on some random corner. That may sound like a lot, but when you look at it, it's really not. There is only one arc, Little Garden, where Karoo is present the entire time. In the other arcs, he is absent for the majority of them. And what little time we do spend with him though, is pretty important, as if we were to remove Karoo in Season 2, the impact of what Karoo does for Vivi and Alabasta is practically gone, as the audience wouldn't even know him. He would no longer be part of the crew, he'd just be a random duck they encounter. Now, if you still think Karoo is unimportant and didn't really contribute anything after hearing his entire resume, then wouldn't that work in his favor for being included this season? Like, if that were true, then Karoo wouldn't make a budget because he's so unimportant, then he's not on screen, you know? If Vivi was truly supposed to be undercover, her having an Alabasta native duck with her would ruin her cover. Yes, and? Vivi's identity does get uncovered eventually, so Karoo could be written as the reason why. Also, I mean, there's got to be more than 7 of the super spot build ducks in the entirety of Alabasta. And yes, Karoo is part of the supersonic duck squadron specifically, which are famous across Alabasta, but when translated to live action, it would just be like looking for like one specific dog in a big group of dogs that are the same breed. So in the time between videos, new evidence has dropped. Yes, I teased it. Let's get into it. The actor of Mr. One, you know, Otto, showed off a gif from Oda. You know, the father and creator of Karoo and One Piece, I guess. And here it is on screen. Now, let me tell you, I was screaming, I was doing backflips when I first saw this. Karoo is confirmed to be in season 3, but it doesn't really end there. Look at the shirt, look at it again, look at the scene depicted on it. This is from right after Mr. 2 shows up on the boat for the first time and the crew are showing off their X's. Since there's no island between Drum and Alabasta, in order for Karoo to be there, he has to get on the boat in season 2. Now, second piece of new-ish evidence is during an April Fool's promo back in, I don't know, 2023 maybe? The actor for Usopp directly mentions Karoo.
I'd like to know, will we see Karoo?
Now, this one's not really a confirmation or anything, but I think it'd be pretty lame to mention Karoo, you know, even for a joke and promos, and him not to be there. But we have to consider, you know, in the manga or anime, most of Usopp's lies do come true eventually. Therefore, Karoo being real might happen. Now, third piece of evidence, I didn't really know where to put this one, but here it is. There are new toys, you know, actively being announced and released. You know, another big point was that Karoo has no merch yet, but you know, obviously they're not gonna release merch of everything months in advance before the audience even knows what they're looking at. In one of these, we even got a first look at Dragon, and in another one, we got Chopper's Heavy Point. I think it's going to be any day now until Karoo is officially shown off. Probably in like a Lego set or something if I'm being for reals. In conclusion, and to summarize, Karoo is basically confirmed, and this is not totally cope on my part. Thank you to everyone who commented on my last video, and thank you to those who comment on this one. You've basically made my year, not gonna lie. Karoo is my favorite One Piece character and I would really love to see him in the reels. Also, I really want to buy a Karoo plush that doesn't cost over $50. Bye!